Shazam! Well, Shazam 2. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and we're finally talking spoilers for Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Now, if you have not seen this movie yet, spoiler alert, click away, and come back after this movie, because, whoa, don't hit me. Because we're going to dive into some major spoilers for this movie. Granted, they already put some major spoilers in the trailers, because I don't know why, it's so stupid. But we will be diving into major spoilers, so click away, come back after you've seen it. Go see this movie, give it some money, so that way we can get a third one, and then come back to watch this review. I'll give you a few more seconds to click away. Now let's dive into spoilers. Wait, hold on. We're just gonna, dive into some spoilers, so... Nope, wrong character. That was Black Adam, which, ended up being nothing. There we go. Alright, so let's get into some spoilers. Let's talk about the one storyline first that I feel like had great potential, but I feel like didn't live up to its potential. And that was the story of Billy almost hitting 18 and aging out of the foster home and being worried about possibly losing his family. So he's holding on a bit too tight, and it's like, yeah, we're only doing missions all together, all of us. We're not doing anyone doing it solo. I thought that was a great potential idea for a story and a great way to continue the second film, especially because this movie takes place 2 years later, came out 4 years later, was supposed to come out 3 years later after the first film. So those kids are now, a lot of them are now almost adults. Like the little kids are now teenagers, and the teenagers are now practically adults. So I like the fact that they leaned into that instead of shying away from trying to be like, what? They may look that age, but they're actually still really young. I like the fact that they actually lean into it, and they're like, yeah, Billy's almost 18. So, but they didn't give it enough attention. They gave it a little bit in the beginning, and they kind of just left it. And I kind of wish they focused more on it than they did. But what are we gonna do? I mean, I guess we can't really do anything about that. I thought it was really sweet when him and Mary were talking about it, and Mary also went through that progress where she did age out of the foster system, but her foster parents let her stay with them. But again, they didn't do much about that. And then another thing that they did is I liked is that they did mention why Mary is still there, because in the first one she was debating whether or not she should go to college, and then this movie they tell us, oh, she decided to stay home with the family to do superhero stuff instead of going to college, but she kind of wishes she went to college. Once again, I'm glad they mentioned that, because it clears up a question shouldn't she be in college or something? Wasn't she thinking about going somewhere that was not far away from Philadelphia? I forget where. I like that they did that, but I feel like they could have focused way more on that storyline. She literally said it one time. It was brought up every once in a while, I think, but after that, it was pretty much abandoned and forgotten, and not even brought up in the end. Like I was saying, I feel like they could have given that more attention than they did, but they didn't. Also, something I kind of want to bring up that's kind of a small thing is that the Shazamly have new suits. I was kind of wondering if they were hoping that they would bring that up somehow, because by the sounds of it, in the first film, those suits cannot be removed. So if they can't be removed, how do they change from one film to the next? I mean, I did hear that it's supposed to be because of Flashpoint, whatever. Flashpoint changed it just enough that it changed their suits. And there was even a flashback in this movie to the first one when he breaks the staff, and they're in the new movie suits for some reason. I was just kind of huh? I mean, I understand, I guess, that they wanted to do that. I like these suits a lot more. I thought the suits in the first one looked kind of cheesy. I didn't hate it, but they still looked kind of cheesy. This one, they looked way cooler. But I don't know. So yeah, I was wondering if they'd mention something about that, but they didn't. So, okay. Another thing that I was wondering if they'd point out or not, or make a joke about, or something that they didn't, I think they could have, was the fact that, Mary, the Shazam Mary, was recast in the first movie. Shazam Mary and normal Mary were played by two different people. And in this movie, they had the actress who plays normal Mary play both, which I personally liked the decision. I thought it made sense, especially because of the fact that she is already an adult in her 20s, so it kind of makes sense why is she aging up so much if she doesn't really have to. I mean, I guess Shazam is supposed to be in his 30s, so technically when Billy is like in his 20s, he could still have him turn to Zachary Levi because he's supposed to be in his 30s or whatever, 30s, 40s, but I don't know. But I kind of felt like they could have, should have made a joke about that, like, does anyone else knows that Mary looks like the exact same as when she's not Shazam form, or if they were like, or if they're like, how come you look different from last time we teamed up? I don't know. I feel like they could have done something, but they didn't. That's okay. Now let's dive in more into the plot. So like, there was one twist that I saw coming partially because they kind of give it away already, and that was the fact that Rachel Zegnor's character, I think I said her name right, I hope, Anthea was supposed to be like this twist, one of the daughters of Atlas. They kind of already told us this in the marketing, and I believe they said something about it at Comic-Con, which I think they should never have said anything. I think they should have left it like, oh, it's just this new side character who's joining their school. Maybe there's something bigger with her character. Maybe she has some sort of connection to the larger DC universe. Surprise! It's Anthea, another daughter of Atlas, a part of the Sis 3. But they didn't. But they let us know, I guess, beforehand, which is okay. I really enjoyed her character in the movie, but that was a very, very predictable thing. I mean, for this movie, they're just like spoiling stuff in the marketing. We'll get to that later. One thing, though, I do want to talk about when it comes to family dynamics is, like I mentioned in my spoiler-free review, that I loved seeing the family dynamic again, seeing a new story with this family together, including our superheroes. But I also mentioned how in the beginning they were superheroes for way too long, and then at the end they weren't superheroes long enough. And that's because, like, in the beginning I felt like they were superheroes even when they didn't need to be. Like, for example, I mean, I guess maybe they had to be in Shazam form to enter the lair, but like they never established that they had to be, because technically Billy did go into the lair when he was in his Billy in the first movie. I mean, he was summoned there, I guess, but you know, like, why do they have to be in their superhero forms when they're in the lair? And like, I don't know, I feel like I wanted to see more of the family just together at home in their normal bodies, but we didn't get that. But then, yeah, when we got to the end of the film, the second half, where the daughters of Alice are now attacking Philadelphia, and like there's chaos and everything, it's like, zap, your powers are gone. Zap, 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 all your powers are gone except for Billy's. Okay. But I wanted to see them fight the daughters of Alice as a family. I wanted the big battle to be all of them versus all of them. But no, they decided to have it be, pretty much the finale was kind of just a one-on-one with Billy and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Lucy Liu's character. Oh my gosh, the one who rides the dragon. Her, which, I mean, it's still enjoyable. I still had fun with it, but you know, I feel like they should have switched that around. We should have had more moments with them being in their normal forms, and then in the second half kick it up a notch with their superhero versions, with them fighting in the battle. But you know, whatever. Speaking of the final battle, I really enjoyed what they did with the final battle. Like, they pretty much destroyed a lot of Philadelphia, which, you know, yeah, it's not just New York gets attacked, Philadelphia does now too. But I also said I loved the humor, and the humor was really enjoyable. The final battle, I thought the visuals was awesome. Like, I thought Anthea's powers looked really cool when they did those. Like, I don't know, I love those kind of visuals. That's why I like the first Doctor Strange. I just think those kind of visuals are really awesome, and I love those visuals in this movie. I thought that was really cool. And then we get to the actual finale where, like I said, it's this one-on-one. Shazam sacrifices himself in a way that's, I don't know, I have sort of mixed feelings on it. So, on the one hand, they technically do kill off Billy. Well, actually, before we get into that, I want to mention one thing that happens beforehand. The two parents actually find out that their kids are the Shazams, or the Philadelphia Fiascos, as they've been called by the media. And it's because of the fact that, you know, the dragon is technically coming out of their basement, so they gotta get them out of there. I actually liked the fact that they know about it now. I thought that was an interesting choice, because now the entire family is in on it, which is cool, which, another reason why I want the third film, please, James Gunn, please, WB, make the third film, come on. But, yeah, that was interesting. The moment Billy has with I forgot her name, his adopted mom, his foster mom in this movie, was, like, really sweet. You know, I feel like they should have built more on it, because I feel like him and his foster mom got very little scenes in this movie. And if they had more scenes together in this movie, it would have been way more powerful than it was. But because like Billy does right before he goes in the battle, he goes, "I love you, Mom." And I thought that was such a sweet and emotional moment. But mostly because of the work they did in the first movie and what we saw in the first movie. Because when it comes to what we got in this movie, they didn't really interact as much as I wish they would have. Like I said, I wish there was more of that family together. But, you know, it was enjoyable, so yeah, there's that. And then in the finale, they technically kill off Billy. This thing that I thought was funny with Freddy, I kind of like, I don't know, I like that line where he's like, dude, this is when you're supposed to wake up and say gotcha. And that's kind of what I was expecting. I was like, they're not killing off Billy, right? Pretty sure they're not. But the way they did it, it really did it kind of made me think for a second, like, are they actually going to kill off Billy? I mean, because we might not get a third film, so it wouldn't be totally unbelievable. But, like, in the back of my mind, I knew, like, they're not going to kill him. There's no way. You don't kill off the main character in the second movie. You save that for the third movie. Except if we do get a third one, please don't do that. And then they actually outright bury him too, which made me think like I'm not sure what they're gonna do with this. And then we get the cameo that they stupidly spoiled in the marketing, that being Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. We're not getting a faceless cameo like we got with Superman in the first film. We're getting an actual character, the actual actress coming in as Wonder Woman, which I have so many mixed feelings on this cameo as well. First of all, when it comes to what they did, how they put this in marketing, that was so stupid. Why, WB? Why are you so dumb? I understand it was kind of leaked, because one, it was leaked by Funko Pops technically, because it was leaked what the Funko Pop lineup would be, and she was a part of it. As well as I think it was speculated / rumored way before the movie came out, because like Fury of the Gods, hey, Wonder Woman's a part of that world and knows about that. She could show up, but the fact that they outright showed us pretty much half of the scene that she's in a TV spot, it's like, really. I was lucky enough that I had it spoiled for me that they put her in a TV spot, so I knew she was going to be in it, but I didn't know what the scene was going to be, because I completely ignored that TV spot. Every time I knew a TV spot for Shazam was coming on, I skipped it. And I made sure I avoided the TV spots. I think I saw an image, because I've seen scroll across images, but I refused to watch that TV spot because I didn't want to know what scene it was or how the scene played out. And like, because like when she showed up too, it was like really awesome. They played Wonder Woman's theme, which is one of my favorite themes in all of DC. Like every member of the Trinity, I mean, has an epic theme. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, in my personal opinion, with what we got in the 2017 movie and BVS and stuff like that. But that was epic. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. When I heard that theme, it kind of made me want to stand up in the theater and clap. I didn't, but it kind of made me want to. And then what's weird too, I love seeing Shazam and Wonder Woman interact. Like, that's just so much fun. It was so funny too. I love the fact that he's like, hey, I'm going to be 18 soon. You can call me. And she's like, yeah, stick to saving the world. And I love the joke too, where when they find out that Anthea is over 6,000 years old, and yet her and Freddy still kiss, and the parents are like, all of a sudden this feels very weird. And then like when Wonder Woman leaves, they're like, what is it with our boys and older women? I'm like, I thought it was hilarious. And I love the fact that they got to interact. I'm not gonna lie to you, this makes me really want to see Gal Gadot return as Wonder Woman, even more than I already did too, so it's like, ugh. But the reason why I have mixed feelings on this interaction is because pretty much what they did was they brought in this epic cameo and had her undo the consequences of this movie. Because not only did she bring Billy Batson back to life, but she also somehow restored Anthea's powers. And to me, it was like, I'm glad Billy's alive. I really want him to be alive. Seeing Wonder Woman in this movie, hearing her theme, seeing her on the big screen, since we haven't seen her on the big screen in a while. I mean, I guess we saw her in 2020, but you know, that movie was... oh my gosh, that movie was that movie. We saw her in a good movie. I'm sorry, Wonder Woman 89, but, you know. We saw her in a good movie. So they have this epic cameo where she shows up and undoes the consequences where, yes, I'm glad Billy is alive, but it kind of felt like a cop-out. Like, why did you kill him in the first place? And you just should have either did the whole gotcha thing where he's like, where he wakes him and goes like, yeah, I gotcha. or just, you know, not do it at all, because that is, I don't know. And then I feel like they should at least let Anthea be human, because I think that would have been a good way to have consequences for this battle. Like, oh no, she's stuck being human, and then because then they could also do this thing where it's like, guess what? She'll age normally now, so her and Freddy. Really? No, no, because then they could have been like, oh, now she's gonna age like a normal human would, so now it's not quite as weird with Freddy and her being together. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if that's how she looks, she's looked for a little under 8,000 years, or sorry, 6,000 years. It's still gonna be so weird because she's gonna be like 6,000 years older than Freddy, but in a couple years, Freddy's gonna look older than her if you think about it. But I don't know, it's complicated. It was sweet. Their chemistry was awesome. Like, those two's chemistry, the actor and actress just bounced off each other so perfectly. Like, it was so awesome. But I mean, I think they should at the very least had Anthea's powers stay missing and maybe bring them back in a third film, so you could be like, have this epic finale and have her be a part of the finale. But, you know, whatever. So, very mixed feelings. It kind of felt like a cop-out, but part of me is like, I don't care. It was so awesome. I don't want Billy to die, and seeing Wonder Woman in this movie was awesome. So, very mixed feelings on it. I'm not angry. I just thought it was, you know, still shouldn't have spoiled it in the trailers, WB. Come on, what the heck is wrong with you? But, yeah. Alright, I don't know if I have much else to say. Oh, wait. We have end credit scenes. Yes, there are 2 end credit scenes. So let's start with the mid credit scene. The mid credit scene showed the 2 people from Peacemaker, whose names I'm blanking on right now, showing up to Shazam, pretty much messing around in the woods. And they're here to recruit him to be part of the JSA, the Justice Society of America. And they're like, we want you to be part of the Justice. And he's like, yes. We're like, oh, you want to be part of the Justice Society of America? He's like, no, I want to be a part of the Justice League. Why the heck are there two teams with Justice in their name? I thought it was a funny joke, because that's something I've been like, we have the Justice League and the Justice Society? Okay. And like, and he references Avengers, like, the Avengers Society. I don't know why, but I really like that for some reason. I loved that reference so much. I find it hilarious when... I think it's funny when like DC and Marvel make these kind of references to each other. I think it can be so funny. But yeah, that's kind of interesting, because it's like, were they planning on having me be a part of the JSA? Because we just saw the JSA in Black Adam, which will most likely now no longer be canon. But like, I wonder if they had any what the plan was / is going to be with that. But because he pretty much just declined them after he found out it was the JSA and not the not the Justice League, but. Mostly because he wants to be on the same team as Wonder Woman, so, you know, there's that. And then we get to the end credit scene, which I predicted, because the end credit scene is Dr. Sivana and Mr. Mind in that jail cell. Mr. Mind's caterpillar, whose name I forgot when making my review for the first film. But I just thought that was awesome because of the fact that, one, I think the plan was for them to be the villain of this movie, but that changed. I think I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but I think that was the plan. And I said in that video too, I was like, part of me wonders if they're gonna have another credit scene with those 2 characters to build up them being the big baddies in the 3rd movie. And it pretty much, yeah. So I really hope we get a 3rd film finally paying off these 2 end credit scenes, because that one end credit scene from years ago, I was like, I really want to see the payoff to this. We still haven't yet. I hope we get to see it. But yeah, so I thought it was really cool. I mean, I know it's not everyone will find it really cool because they don't know who Mr. Mind is, and or they forgot that credit in the first film. So, but yeah, so I love this movie. I had a whole bunch of fun with it. I don't think it's as good as the first film. I think the first film has a better story and is funnier and stuff like that. But I still really enjoyed it, and I really, really, really want to see Shazam 3. So please make Shazam 3. Even if you don't want them to be in the DCEU, have it be Elseworlds and make a Shazam 3 and have it be the ending to the trilogy. Have it be the ending to the franchise if you don't want to keep them in. If you do that. So go see this movie in the theater if you haven't yet. I mean, you should have, because you just had the whole thing spoiled for you. But like, I really hope this movie makes enough money to warrant a 3rd film. I don't expect that to happen. I'm pretty positive they're just gonna reboot this. I don't think we're gonna get a 3rd film, but I'm really hoping. I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope, but we'll see what happens. But what did you think of this movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? What did you think of the Wonder Woman cameo? What did you think about the entire movie as a whole? If you want to see more videos like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I've done a bunch of reviews. I did a spoiler-free review. And I'm doing more reviews in the future. If you like this video, please hit like, hit the notification bell so you know when I post to go live. Thank you so much for taking the watch. I feel like I've been rambling for a long time. So I will see you guys in the next video. Shazam! Nope, still didn't work.